You're listening to Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. For more information, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at SBTSongs or check us out at chrisblair.com. Jordan Dozzi joins us this week on another episode of Stories Behind the Songs. Jordan landed his very first #1 on the charts just this week, actually, with Morgan Wallen. Man Made a Bar, written by Jordan Dozzi, Larry Fleet, Rocky Block, and Brett Tyler, was originally meant to be released by Larry Fleet. We learned how Morgan heard it, loved it, and then released it himself, sending it up the charts to #1. Jordan's catalog of songs includes Things I Take for Granted for Larry Fleet, Get the Girl for Seaforth, Fine by Me for Chase Matthews, It Don't, He Won't, You Do for Jake Owen, and a song for Nelly, which was his very first cut ever and is super crazy. We take a look at the stories behind all of these songs, and as always, we get to hear Jordan play a couple of them as well. Also, that was discussed in this episode is Jordan's upbringing in Australia, the logistics of pursuing music as an Australian citizen in the United States, making music signed under Big Loud Publishing and the type of community that comes along with that, and he came in with Ernests' guitar because his girlfriend stole his and he had to go into the publishing company this morning and steal Ernests'. It was a Cole Clark, and I definitely had to give it a play before he left. Very cool guitar. If you like this episode, make sure to share it with your friends, give us a follow, thumbs up, all of those things. It is our mission to bring you the stories behind the songs from songwriters themselves, and it's because of you that we keep going. So we appreciate it. We love y'all. Let's get to it. This is another episode of Stories Behind the Songs with Jordan Dozzi. All right. Well, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, bro. Doing good.
Thanks for sitting down with us.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Let's just dive in, man. You're from Australia, so I love, especially people across the pond, love the story because it's just different,
Yeah.
And, so what got you into music, and what was life like growing up in Australia?
I mean, that's a big question, but honestly, it's probably my family. Like my parents were both musicians. Just, they had a band and they did the cover gig scene forever back in Oz.
Yeah.
And, they were playing around the same time as Keith Urban. So they would go finish their show, go watch Keith down the road. Because I grew up in Brisbane where Keith kind of grew up too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I have 3 sisters who are all in the band too.
Yep.
So, just kind of like family tradition, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
was that back when Keith, what was his, before it was Keith Urban, it was, what was the band?
Mate, there's some old videos on it. I've watched
forget.
them. Yeah.
I listened to the old album a long time ago. I was like, man, this is so good. Anyway, yeah, just popped in my head, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So you grew up in that, and then, what brought you to Nashville?
Oh yeah. So, I mean, for me, I was a soccer player my whole life. That was kind of, didn't drink on the weekends, didn't, stay away from all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I moved to Japan when I was 17 to play some footy straight out of high school. And, I kind of got my own little room for the first time without mom and dad around, and kind of started singing. And honestly, I didn't really sing out loud until after high school. So that was kind of spent a year over there, had a guitar, and then I just came back and started playing cover gigs and just did that. And then
back to Australia?
Yeah, went back to Australia, did that for a few years, just playing soccer, kind of just doing those 2 things. And then I came and made a visit to Nashville and was like, there's no better place, dude.
Yeah.
Like, at that time, I was really falling in love with songwriting. So it's kind of why Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you came on a D1 scholarship to play soccer at Belmont, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was crazy. That was the only way I could get a visa,
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to just come here and be like, hey, I want to write songs and all that. But I just had to get in the country somehow. So that was nice. It was fun too. I loved it. I really loved playing at Belmont. That was awesome.
It's a great school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
So you were doing that, and but it was like, okay, soccer is what was able to get you here, but the goal was like, I want to be in Nashville to write songs.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always the bit. Like, I'd get a bit of stick from my coach and from some of the boys on the team. Doz, why are you always writing songs after training? You should be, go and hang with the boys, blah, blah. But, now everyone seems really supportive and it all kind of worked out. So everyone's happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were doing that. You tore your ACL.
Yeah.
What was that?
what was that?
What was that,
yeah,
man? Bad kick?
Yeah, no, that was crazy, bro. Conference semifinals. It was funny. I had a publishing deal from Big Loud in my inbox, and we went to Furman in South Carolina, and I called my mom. And I said, "Hey, we're probably gonna lose this game. They're top seed. Like, thank you for taking me to every training session as a kid. All this stuff. Probably gonna be my last game." We ended up winning the game, tear my ACL. It was my last game. yeah. And then literally 8-hour bus ride back, and I'm pretty sure I signed it that night. I just went to my emails.
But okay, so the day you tore your ACL, you had an offer from Big Loud in your inbox.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy, bro. I had a year left of eligibility, so I could have played another season, but man, I mean, I love writing songs so much. Like, I just kind of had to start doing it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's worked. You've got several cuts now, and I want to dive in. Obviously, this podcast is Stories Behind the Songs, so let's get right into Stories Behind the Songs.
Yeah.
You just had a recent number one with Morgan Wallen.
Yep.
Man Made a Bar.
Yep. Uh-huh.
How did that idea come about? I mean, you've written a couple great songs. I want to dive into, like, you've got this songwriting camp that you've written a lot of great songs with. So, let's dive into that one.
Oh, I mean, Man Made a Bar. That was a special one. That was with the boys, Larry Fleet, Brett Tyler, and Rocky Block. We were on the road with Larry, actually.
Okay.
And it was October. I think Morgan maybe was like basically finished his album. He'd recorded he's already recorded 36 songs. It's only a 36 song album. But and we wrote a song for Larry. He texted it to Morgan. Morgan loved it. And I think it ended up being the 42nd song recorded for the album, and end up 5 or 6 others got taken off. That one made it. I went back to Australia for the first time in 3 years, and I got a phone call over there that Eric Church was going to be on it.
Yeah.
Craziest thing ever. Like, yeah, it was a special one. It was fun to write too. That was good. I remember Brett Tyler. I'll never forget. We're just kind of messing around on the guitars, and I just hear, "I've got this silly one." I'm like, okay. Like, Man Made a Bar. And literally that's how it started. And then it was just like, we wrote that whole thing in the first day, The first song.
So you guys originally wrote that for Larry?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I thought maybe it'd be a Morgan and Larry song, and then I have Eric Church's on it. That's crazy. And I'm super pumped for all of us. Larry's first one, my first one, Rocky's first one. So yeah, that was it really didn't know it at the time. You think it would, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he comes up with he's like, "Hey, I've got this idea. So take me into the writer's circle." Like how the idea started flowing after that, and just the process of writing that song.
Yeah, so I feel like that one changed a few times. We messed up that chorus so many times. Like, I think we had a few different hooks on the end of it, and then, dude, it just came together, man. It was so good. We wrote that so quickly, probably in like 2 to 3 hours. Brett Tyler that's a Brett Tyler special, that song for me. He's got something special. Yeah, I'm glad he had a silly idea that day.
And then how did Eric Church become a part of that? Was that something that Morgan just called him?
I guess so. Like, I guess it just was right place, right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just wanted a song, and apparently that was the one. Yeah, we weren't writing it for Morgan and Eric, but yeah, I guess Morgan just kind of loved it, fell in love with it. Yeah,
yeah.
Texted him or something.
It's a great song. You want to play a little bit of it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's do it.
Love to. Let's see. Sat down on a bar stool like a darn fool. She walked out again. Bartender said, I got you. Yeah, 'cause I too been in your boots, my friend. Opened up back in 85. Got me over my first wife. Stayed busy since the first night. It's a story old as time. God made the world in 7 short days. He said it was good, I bet it was great. God made a man, man got lonely. He said, please Lord, if I could only have an angel to hold in my arms. So God made a girl his best work of art. Oh, but he didn't make no place to go when she breaks your heart. So man made a bar.
So good, man. One of the many number ones on that album.
Yeah, man. That felt good.
Yeah. Thanks for playing that, man.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, and then one of the guys that you wrote that with, actually all the guys that you wrote that with, for Larry, you also wrote another big single for him.
Oh yeah, Things I Take for Granted. Man, that was the same day.
Yeah,
as Man Made a Bar. It was crazy. Same trip. I remember we were at Man Made a Bar first. We went outside and we kind of had a little chat, and we were just talking. Really, we were just in the parking lot. And we just wanted to write, something like that we really felt was real and something positive and uplifting. And it kind of just fell out. And yeah, I guess that one was cool. That one really felt like a Larry song. Like when we wrote that, we were like, this one really feels good.
Whose idea was that?
I think that we all just kind of talked about it. I don't think anyone even had that one in their phone. They were just like, how do we feel right now? What do we want to talk about? What do we want? If we were on the radio, what would we want to sing about? Like there's a million songs about how we're bad for each other, but we see each other anyway. But like, I think that's why Larry is really important right now. And I love writing songs for him because he's just like, he's writing songs for real people. And like, it's good, uplifting stuff. Like, I have a smile on my face when I'm listening to it. Yeah,
I love that. I think that's something we could dive into too, because I think that's where I've seen some of the best songs come out. Not that obviously amazing songs come out of your note app, right?
Yeah.
But when you get in a room and you're going around and like, hey, like here you're throwing ideas out and like. Maybe nothing's just catching. And then you're just sitting there talking about like what's going on today. Yeah. What's life all about? And
who's heartbroken here?
It's just those natural conversations that's like, those are where, those deep songs come from, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Like one of the things that I think I really try to do is just take my fingerprints off the song, like I don't want anyone to be like, oh, look what those writers like did there, and like, oh, that's really cool, but like that's awesome, but if they can just feel the song and not even know that anyone else was involved, it's just their own story. And like, I think taking your fingerprints off the song is really important.
Take your fingerprints off the song. That's so good. I've not heard that before.
Yeah.
Man, that's
forget
awesome.
Who said that one. I'm sure I'll hear about it later.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
So like how was all this? Like, how quickly did it happen? Like that, from going back to that, that last game with Belmont, and you have that offer for Big Loud. Like, all of this success started pouring out, and you've also, like, I want to dive into fellow Aussies, Seaforth.
Oh yeah,
great guys.
yeah.
They've played here a bunch of times, and the success that you've had with them too. But like, how quickly did you start to see things happen after you signed?
You know what? It's funny you say Seaforth, because I wrote that song with them and Jordan Davis had.
Yeah.
Good Beer.
Yeah.
And I wrote that one when I was just still, before I did my knee. I was in college.
Yeah.
So by the time, I just met them. We were just, good friends and stuff. But that was a really like a good leapfrog little start for me. Just kind of like, those boys are so talented. They could sing the phone book.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I guess it's kind of happened all really quickly, bro. I feel like it's just, you surround yourself with people that you hope are like, that you can learn from and that are better than you. And if I can be the worst writer in every room, then like, I don't know, I'm probably in a good room,
Yeah.
So it's like surrounding yourself with the right people and just being consistent and having work ethic. You know what I mean? Like I had 2 years of eligibility when I moved here. So I had 2 years to get a publishing deal. And if I didn't, I would be shipped back home. So it was good motivation,
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Brit Skin Beauty. Located in the beautiful Indulgence Medi Spa in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, Brittany is the go-to esthetician for facials, dermaplaning, microdermabrasion, waxing, lashes, and any skincare products and consultations. So many people in the music industry use her frequently, and her work speaks for itself. To schedule your next consultation or make an appointment, visit britskinbeauty.com or send an email to britskinbeauty@gmail.com.
Let's dive a little deeper into Get the Girl. I want to talk about like a specific line, like, and dive into that a little bit. But before we get there, like, just how was the room that day and how that all came about?
That one was cool. I think we did that over 2 different sessions.
Okay.
I think it was me, Tom, and Mitch. We kind of got together, and I think I had this little thing, like get the girl back. Like, it's just like a classic mirror,
Yeah.
Tell you how to get the girl, how to get it back. But that one took 2 sessions for sure. And we ended up going to a cabin and, just getting.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was really rough.
Songwriting is so hard.
Oh, man, I had to get so hammered that week. But no, so that was pretty cool. Tom is just like amazing producer. He produces all that stuff. So yeah, he killed that. But dude, yeah, that line for me is like, that's where I like to start. When I'm writing a song, if I can choose where to start, if I can choose, hey, like, that's the most important line of the song. For me, that second last line of the chorus and then the chorus. Everyone's thinking about the last line of the chorus. But really, I feel like almost the second last line is more important.
Yeah, what leads to the hook?
Yeah, it's like everyone can say a turn of phrase, but can you say it in like, how do you set up the turn of phrase to hear it so no one else has ever heard it?
Yeah.
So like for me,
So
that's
good.
where like I like to start usually, and like, yeah, that's just the key to a hit song. I feel like almost.
They tell you how to get the girl, but they don't tell you how to get the girl back.
Yeah.
Who came up with that line?
Oh, I mean, you gotta say it was all the fellas together.
Yeah.
Yeah, after. Yeah, it's hard to say that, It's probably one of us said something smart. Yeah,
That's when it's a good ride. Like, I have no idea who said what. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the boys. I think we all said it at the same time.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've got, you've got so many great cuts. And Jake Owen is another great great artist in town. I've known that guy for years.
Yeah. And
great guy.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that one if you want to a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that one I really like that one. My favorite place to play is here, man, the listening room. Like, this is my favorite venue in the world, bro. Like, I love this place. It's where I came here and I watched Seaforth play on this stage, and I was like, man, this is like, I want to do that,
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one, I really like playing it here. It's called It Don't, He Won't, and You Do. It's kind of, yeah, you just have to say it twice before I play it.
Yeah.
But I wrote this one with Chase McGill and Ebach, of course. And man, I think I forget exactly what he said, but I feel like he said he woke up from a dream and wrote it down or something like that. It was something crazy, but Ebach basically
Justin did?
Yeah. He basically had like the hook, and it was just a crazy hook, and I was lucky enough to write it with him. But yeah, it's called It Don't, He Won't, and You Do. It turns out that it's a little hotel where you realize you're part of their hard clientele, but you don't come across a girl like you lost. Just reruns of MASH trying to rehash your thoughts. Yeah, I wish the silence would run out of lonely. God would let my prayers get through. You didn't dance through my mind every night, but it don't, he won't, you do. Yeah, I wish the bourbon would blur out the heartache. The devil would cut a boy loose. You wouldn't dance through my mind every night, but it don't, he won't, you do.
So good. That's one of those songs, like, when you walk out of a room with a song like that, do you just know?
That one, I was like texting my publisher, like, oh man, yo, this one feels good. That one was, yeah, I mean, and again, you start with the end of the chorus, and it's like, you work your way back, and then it's like, I don't know, that's the way to do it, man. Like,
yeah, let's dive into that, because there's so many people that listen to this podcast that are, brand new songwriters to town. Maybe don't even have pub deals yet, and they're building their camp. So, let's dive into your process and like how you figured out to start doing that and working backwards.
Yeah, I mean, mate, I think up on the third floor at Big Loud, we talk about this stuff like all the time. It's like, we call it the 7/8. That's what we call it. Imagine, 8 lines in a chorus. What's the 7/8? And like, that's what we figure out. And then, then you figure out a sick melody, top of a chorus. And then you literally just do the same thing for the top of the chorus. It's like, well, what's the line before the top of the chorus that sets up the top of the chorus? And then you do that for the first chorus and the second chorus. And then suddenly you're and then all you have to do is fill in the verses. It's like, for me, that's my favorite way of doing it. But like, it changes every day. It really does,
Yeah.
Yeah, different people have their different ways, and like, that's also the point of co-writing, right? It's like, it's not, you don't go into a room with 2 other people to go do it the same way you already did it. It's like, all right, let's work together here. So like, I just like it that way,
You look at it like being on the soccer field, where you got different plays and like, all right, this team's figured out how we're going to score on this one. Let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I see like the industry as football for sure. It's a lot of like work ethic. It's a lot of parents who are doing similar things that like, a lot of like legacies to live up to.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people who have a lot of passion or have a lot of talent, don't work hard, or have a lot of work hard, don't have talent, or there's people like both. And it's like, everyone's kind of just like, it's similar, really similar to football in that way.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I love it. I want to dive into a couple more songs. But before, let's kind of take a little 180 here and talk about producing.
Oh yeah.
Because you had the opportunity to be a producer with Nelly, of all people.
Dude, that was my first cut ever. It was a Nelly production.
How did that even come about, man? That's so crazy. By the way, I'm from St. Louis, and he grew up like not far from where we did. So yeah, I've always been a fan.
Yeah, man, that one was funny. I think I was just in my room, and my publisher, Mike G, he basically, I think it was around 4 or 5, and he hit up me and Grady Block, and he goes, "Hey guys, do you think you can produce a Nelly song by tonight?" And we're like, maybe, I don't know. Like, yeah, like, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And we, I think we stayed there until like, you know, probably like 10 or 11, and we did it. And then we were like, we listened back and we're like, we could probably do this a bit better. So then we went back home, and then we went back to the studio that night and stayed until like probably like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. And
we just pumped the whole thing out, and we sent it back, and the next day the only note they had was turn the clap up. So that was crazy. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up listening to Nelly too. So like, yeah, but production, man, like I'm loving doing production. I'm producing like some stuff for my sister Jessie right now.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, dude. It's really great. Like, it's very time consuming. It takes away from writing, but you know, it's
both
like,
are needed.
Yeah, both are needed, and like both have satisfied different, creative like boxes.
Yeah. Do you ever take your love of producing and come up with beats to take into the writer's room?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's kind of, I feel like I like to really strip back demos usually.
Yeah.
Or like I'll be sitting in a room and like just with guitar, and like there'll be 3 of us, and like I'm a guy where like I want to look at you in the eye and like, let's write this song, and then like, you know, I'll do a track. That's my usual bit.
Yeah.
But you know, a loop never did anyone wrong, you know.
Yeah.
A loop is nice sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I want to dive into one more song, and then we'll start to wrap up. But Chase Matthews, Fine by Me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a classic one, dude. Me and my boy Matt Mulhair, we have, you know, we actually met in spike ball class at Belmont. He's writing at Red Creative now, and literally when I tore my ACL, and we just had a little 9 a.m. session one day, and then of course in big loud fashion, you know, Ernest walks in, you know, kicks the door down. Oh, what are you all doing? You know, I got this thing. What do you reckon? You know, and he does his thing, you know, spitfires, like freestyles, like, you know, 6 different verses, and then walks out, you know, and then there's me and like my boy Matt, and you know, we're just like, did you voice memo that? Yeah, all right, well, like, let's go and, you know, pick it apart and find what we like and fill it in, and so yeah, that was just a little like impromptu little 9 a.m. session. That was good. Those 9 a.m.s are, man, they're good. I like a 9 a.m.
Yeah, just
9 to 11, get a chorus, get a verse chorus if you can. You know, it's just like a free one.
Yeah,
free one. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Matt's played that song here several times, so we've gotten to hear that song, you know, since it was first born.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I love Matt, dude. He's a great guy. He's a great writer.
With that song, I want to dive into. You did a little flip on the chorus that I thought was really cool. Like, you know, taking the T-shirt and you know, it's the Bass Pro, and then at the end you flip it and it's Nickelback.
Yeah, the Nickelback.
Yeah, whose idea was that? And why? Like, why did you throw in Nickelback?
You know why? Because we're trying to get Joey Moy to cut it.
Okay.
I don't know if you all know Joey, but he basically produced all the Nickelback stuff, and he produces Morgan right now, and Hardy and Ernest, and you know, you name it.
Yeah.
But so I think we were like, yeah, what if we put a little Nickelback reference? Then like Morgan will have to cut it, or like Ernest will have to cut it, or whoever, you know what I mean? And it made it.
Chase still did a great job on it.
Yeah, Chase killed it, man. His voice is crazy. He's a great guy. I love him.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've got this crew. Like, would you say that's your favorite crew to collaborate with, or like?
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
The best. That third floor at Big Loud, man. And it's just like, and it's not just us too. It's like, because up there's Craig Wiseman's room. There's John Byron's room.
Who's that?
Yeah. John Byron, We got Rocky Block, Grady Block. Ernests has his whole side up there with Chandler up there. You know, it's just every morning we all usually, you know, say we're riding 11, we're all there at 9.
Yeah.
And we're all hanging out, and we might write a song, we might not. And everyone else has got their 2 other co-writers there by 11, and there's 25 people there, and we're all hanging after. It's like, you know, on days off, I just go to the office, man, because I'm addicted to it. It's so good. It's just like, it's a family. It's people who are motivated. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mm.
What kind of advice would you give newer writers that are just coming in town trying to find a pub deal? I feel like it's a lot harder these days to get signed.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like doing it as if you don't have a pub deal is the first step. You know, it's like,
What do you mean by that?
so it's, you know, book your own rights, write at least 4 days a week. I was just doing night sessions when people would write with me when I was playing football, and, you know, write with everyone you can, and then send, if you can get a publisher's email or get someone. It's not about annoying them. It's just checking, you know, sending emails. Hey, this is what I did this week. It's not, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? It's, hey, I've been doing this, and like, it's almost like, hey, I'm starting this train. Who wants to jump on it with me?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, the songs I'm writing, are you writing songs for you, or are you writing songs that your publishing company can make money from? Because if you're writing songs that, you know, if you want to, is the goal to be a songwriter or to have a publishing deal? Because they're 2 different things. If you want a publishing deal, you have to write songs that make people money, not just yourself, but everyone else, and do it consistently. And if you want to write songs, then go write songs and have fun. But it's like, there's two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's like just getting around people, you know, rising with your class. Obviously, everyone says it, but it's so important.
What do you think about, you know, the ones who want to have a pub deal, but their focus is not to be a songwriter. Their focus is to be an artist. I mean, an Ernest or Morgan or somebody like that, who like has, you know, started out writing great songs for other people, but their end goal was always to be the artist.
Man, I think it's a great pathway. You know, it's like, why not hone this whole separate craft? Because once you're the artist, you're an artist, and you can only be the new kid on the block once, you know?
Yeah.
And why not like have this skill that is just so helpful to be an artist, and like, I feel like gives you longevity. It's just like, you want to have more songs than you even can cut, and then cut away all the ones that, oh, they're pretty good, and just have the ones that are the best ones. It's like, I think it's a great little pathway, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of started that way, and now I'm just, as time goes on, I'm slightly like, oh, I kind of like being a songwriter. You know, I kind of like being home on the weekends. I kind of like just like writing songs, but
kind of like going to the cabins and like little mini vacations and write songs and then come home. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of people probably think, you get one good song as an artist, and you're on a crew with, you know, 5 semi trucks and and a couple buses, and like, you know, they don't see the grind with the 12 passenger van, and like,
no, that's scary.
No roadies. And,
that'd been scary. Yeah. I don't know.
You check into the motel and you got plastic on the bed.
Oh, if you go to motel.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, dude, it's been so good to sit down with you and, you know, just hear a little bit more of your story, and, you know, just I love your songs and what you do. We love having you play here. So,
oh, thank you, mate, dude. I appreciate you. I love this place. Like, what you'll have done, and what you'll continue to do is like, it really inspired me when I came here, and I had no idea what I was doing. So, thank you all.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that guitar a little bit.
Oh, the cold clock. Yeah.
That's you stole it from Ernests this morning.
Yeah,
right?
I stole it from Ernests. My girlfriend stole mine, so I stole his. And mate, the cold clock's great. A little Aussie bit. I might need to talk to someone about getting me one.
Yeah, get 2. I need one too.
Yeah, I'll bring you one.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask a question. This is the first time I've ever asked this question on the podcast. And we're, I don't know, like maybe 70 episodes in or something like that now. Almost a year and a half, I guess. But we've had several comments on episodes that we put out and asking the same thing. So don't want to know like dollar amount. But a lot of comments, surprisingly, are interested in like guys that have written so many great songs like you. Like what's the best song in your catalog as far as like financially taking care of you?
Yeah. Man, it's hard to get paid from streaming these days.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost just like, there are artists out there who do really good in streaming, and it's like, you can have 5 songs with them that all get 5 million streams or 10 million streams and make, like, you know, you'll pay your rent for like a month.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's really hard, man. That's why I really just writing for the radio, and that's what I mean. Like, you have to make people money, so it's like,
That's hard. The difference of a writer versus having a pub deal.
Yeah, I really think so. It's like, and then you got to get the next pub deal.
Yeah,
yeah. So, yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. For me, like, obviously, Man Made a Bar has been the biggest one for me. I think we get paid around like 9 months later after like whatever money's being made right now. So 9 months from now, hopefully we'll be looking great.
And as of today, as we sit here and record this, it is number one on the charts today. So
yeah.
Yeah, it is tough, man. Like you know, just everything that's changed with Spotify and Apple Music and everything, and like that people aren't buying music anymore. You know, like I'm a lot older, but you know, like I grew up, you know, in the days where I would go and buy an album, you know, even tapes, you know, that's how old I am. But then when CDs came out, you know, and I'd go into Walmart or Target or, you know, wherever and buy that and pop it in and sit in the car in the parking lot and listen to every song. And there was like a methodology of like the order of the songs and, you know, all of that. And you got to take in the whole creative process that artist and producer and everybody that put it together was working on. Read all the liner notes, who wrote everything, you know, and all of that. And we just don't get to, in today's world, we don't get to live that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. And it's like, it's not slowing down either. You know, it's like everyone was, you know, everyone's going to Spotify. No one's buying music anymore. Now it's like, trying to get people to Spotify is an absolute mission because they're just getting TikTok or whatever, and it's like, you know, now everyone's trying to get people to Spotify, and now it's like, now, you know, it never ends.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the people that I don't know, Ern's album just came out, and I just listened to it top down, and like I like to do that, and like you can still do it on Spotify, but yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough bit. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last question. If you can go back to 8-year-old self, before ACL injuries, before all of this, and you are now sitting here on the couch with all the success you've had, what advice do you give yourself today?
Well, like, what advice would I give my 8-year-old self, or what my 8-year-old self give me?
Ooh, that's a little twist on it. Let's do both. I want to hear it.
I would tell my 8-year-old self, stay away from drugs and listen to country music. You know, like I kind of had to learn about it and like find it myself. And like I would have loved to have like really grown up on it as like a really young age, and like I don't know, I feel like I had to really dig to find some history of it coming from Australia.
Yeah.
So like I would have loved to just kind of learn about songwriting a bit earlier. You know, like I still feel like I'm new at this, even though I've been doing it for a while now. But yeah, I would say just go and listen to a bunch of, old country songs.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I mean, probably just 8-year-old self telling me to chill out and don't stress out, and life's not as serious as you think it is.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, keep writing great songs, man, and can't wait to have you back, and we'll talk about some other number ones.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait. Thank you for having me.
Who's the next number one going to be?
Ooh, I mean, hopefully
let's just call it. Let's put it out there into the universe.
Let's go. Let's say, let's put a little Larry Fleet in the universe.
Okay.
Dude. Dude, country radio and Larry Fleet. I mean, it just works. Yeah, it sounds good together.
I love it. Yes. All right, we called it right here. So everybody, go call your radio stations and move that next one up to number one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Jordan, I appreciate it. It's been a blast, and we'll do it again soon.
Oh, mate, thank you.
All right, thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of Stories Behind the Songs. We will see you next time. Thank you for listening to another episode of Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. Make sure to give us a follow on Spotify if you enjoyed this episode, and make sure you click that notification button so you can keep notified when new episodes come out. We release brand new episodes every Tuesday, and you can find us on YouTube at Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to send us a comment letting us know what you thought of the episodes. We love getting your feedback, and share this with your friends. The more we grow, the more that we can keep doing this. It's our mission to bring you all of these great stories behind the songs from some of Nashville's most iconic artists and songwriters, publishers, producers, everyone in between, and a lot of my great friends. We love what we do, and we love sharing their stories with you. We appreciate all of the continued support. Thanks also to all of our sponsors, and we will see you all next week.